I almost lost $15,000 today. So let's talk about it. I had a deal that we contracted back in July. We sold it in July. It was a very tough deal to sell. This deal is in Flagstaff. I'll put the settlement statement up right around here. This deal was a journey, and I have to tell you guys about it. So we had this property in Flagstaff. We contracted it at $660,000. We were sending it out at $700. No bites. We dropped it down to $690. Tried to see what we could get, and we weren't really getting anything. So we dropped it down to $685, and all of a sudden we started getting a ton of action on it, a ton of showings. We had a bunch of offers on it, but all of our offers were literally anywhere from $550,000 to about like $625. So obviously we couldn't make that work, right? For us to make any money, we would have lost money if we sold it at any of those prices, unless we were able to get a renegotiation on it. And we were not able to renegotiate this deal because the seller had us put in our contract that we weren't allowed to, and the contract would immediately cancel. It was a really tough deal to do, but thank God for my buddy, another wholesaler here in town. He actually had a buyer for it, and so he bought it from us at $685. So we had it at $660. We sold it to him at $685. He sold it to his buyer at $700K. This deal was supposed to close in July, and his buyer was like, "Bro, I can't close it in a week. I need until August 20th." And so we're like, all right, well, we'll try and get an extension. We were still within our inspection period. And so we go and ask the agent to extend our close of escrow to August 20th. So about a 25-day extension. And they're like, well, if you want to extend it, we want another $20,000 in earnest money. And we tried our hardest to negotiate that down to get it to $10,000 in earnest money, or even another $5,000, right? And we were not able to. And so in order for us to go and make this deal work, to get this extension, we needed to put a total of $20,000 of earnest money in. And I already had $5,000 there from my original contract. And our buyer, we were asking for $10,000 in earnest money. And our buyer was like, dude, I don't want to put $10,000 up. I'll do it for $7,500. So we're like, okay, cool. Let's just do it. So we contracted it with the buyer for $7,500. We had $5,000. He then now needed the extension. And so we have to go and deposit now $20,000 in total. So we go and ask the buyer, bro, we need you to deposit $20,000 in order to extend this close of escrow. And he was like, I can't do that. I need the money for my down payment. I just bought a restaurant. I just did all these other things. So I need the money for the down payment. I need it for rehab. I need to make sure I'm conserving my cash. So the other wholesaler that I sold this to is telling me this. And I'm like, you know what, bro? If you want to split it with me, I'm down to put another 10 in if you put another 10. And so he's like, you know what? Let me think about it. He calls me back about an hour later, and he's like, you know what, bro? I'll do it. I'm confident this guy will close. 25 days extension. He should be able to close on time. I don't see any issue with this. So I'll send the 10 grand. And I was like, perfect. I'll send another 10 grand. So now there's a total of $25,000 of earnest money. I have a total of $15,000 of earnest money in this file. August 1st, our buyer's like, hey, I just got in touch with my lender. It looks like we should be able to close soon. So we're like, all right, cool. Did you get in touch with title? He's like, no, I've been meaning to reach out to title. And so our close of escrow is August 20th, right? And he tells us this August 1st. And so title has been trying to get in touch with the buyer. No response, pretty much all the way up to August 18th, right? So Monday. And Monday, our buyer just now sent the lender information to title, which for those of you that know, the faster you could get that done, the faster a deal could close. So Monday happens, and then he also decides that he's going to assign this deal to a partner for $100,000. And so we're like, bro, what the heck? Now title has more work to do. And so title calls the lender to make sure that they could close by Wednesday. And then that lender tells title, well, if we get everything we need from the buyer today, we're going to need 2 weeks to close. And our closing date is in 2 days from Monday, right? So Monday to Wednesday. And we're like, no freaking way. So we're scrambling around trying to find another lender to fund this deal. And obviously it was extremely difficult. Not a lot of people lend in Flagstaff at a $700K purchase price, actually an $800K purchase price, because he assigned it to someone else for $100,000 and close in 3 days. So it was like impossible to find a lender for this. So go to Wednesday. He's like, I should be able to get it closed by Friday. And we're like, all right, we'll see what happens. And so the agent on Thursday, obviously we didn't close Wednesday. Thursday, the agent sends us what's called a cure notice. And what a cure notice is it means that you're in a breach of contract, and you have to fix whatever it is that you need to fix on the contract. So for us, it was to close, right? So now this gives us 3 days to close, or it's a canceled deal. And so he said, I should be able to get this closed by Friday, no issues. Thursday comes around, a lender that he was going to use after the first one decided to drop out, didn't want this deal anymore. So now we're scrambling around trying to find another lender, trying to find people to transactional fund for him so he could buy this property and then refinance it with his original lender, because that lender's giving him better terms. Now we're scrambling around trying to find another lender. We find another lender Friday at 4 p.m. And so our cure notice it would end on Saturday or Sunday, because it gives us 3 days to close, and it fell on a weekend. And so if it's a close of escrow that needs to happen, it goes on to the next business day. So that gives us now until Monday. So he finds his lender, Friday at like 4 p.m., gets all the stuff to title, whatever it is that they need. And Monday comes around, and Monday morning, and his lender drops out. And so he finds another lender that pretty much we need to close that day. It's pretty much impossible. I've done it a couple times, and today is Tuesday, so obviously that did not happen. And he was like, my lender can fund tomorrow. We should be good tomorrow. I just need to get loan docs in. I need to get the loan docs signed. And then once everything is signed, they can fund. So he sent in his down payment yesterday. His partner sent in their down payment yesterday to make sure that everything was good. Then what happened was they go to sign last night. They were scheduled to sign at 6:30. Well, I don't know if you know, but here in Phoenix on Monday, 8:25, there was a Haboob. And so the notary canceled the signing because of the Haboob. They didn't want to travel. And so to preface this too, we also called the agent Monday 8:25 yesterday, asking him for a 1-day extension on the cure. And we're like, hey man, this is what's going on. Lenders have been dropping out. We have one guy who could fund it tomorrow. We're 100% good. Just give us a 1-day extension on our cure. If we do not close tomorrow, you can have the earnest money. So the seller would just get $25K if we didn't close. And he said, I'll present it to the seller and we'll go from there. And he goes and presents it to the seller. We get a call back. The seller said, if you guys have everything in by 9:30, we'll give you guys the extension. If you do not, we will cancel. And so then this notary stuff happens, all the stuff at the signing. Now they get scheduled to sign at 8:30 a.m. today. And we're pretty much on the cusp of losing this deal and scrambling around trying to get this deal done, calling title, calling the lender, calling the buyer, making sure everything's good. And around 8:30, they didn't sign. 9:30 is when they ended up signing. The agent gave us the 9:30 timeline. But thank God of having a great title rep, and our title rep knew to tell the agent, hey, they signed funds, we're awaiting funds now, so we should be good to get it done today. And so we were expecting funds within the hour. The funds did not arrive to title until about 11:30, so still a little bit later than expected. However, we made it happen. We were good. And by the time the funds got there, we have them. And what happens in the title process is title receives the funds Then they have to go to the lender, be like, do I have the okay to record? And then the lender goes, yep, you got the okay to record. And then that's when the deal actually closes. And so since our cure notice gave us till yesterday, the lender was like, we need a written extension in order to give the okay to record. And we're like, dude, there's no way we're getting a written extension now. Like, just absolutely no way. So I started calling the lender because I figured out who the lender was and was like, dude, can you please help me out? We are on a cure period. Today's pretty much our last day. We have the cure until they cancel us. And they haven't sent the cancellation yet, so we have all the right to be able to proceed to close. I think they are delaying the cancellation because they just want to get it closed. And he's like, I'll see what I could do. I still need the extension written in order to give the okay. And thank God again for our title rep for being able to talk to the lender and being able to get them to give the okay to close. And so once we got that okay to close, it was about 12:30. And after that, they sent the file to record. And it was just one roadblock after another. Crazy deal. It ended up recording today. So instead of losing $15,000, I ended up making $15,000. Oh, I did forget to mention that yesterday the buyer told us in order for us to go with this lender and close it today, I need a $10,000, actually like a $20,000 price reduction. So I ended up having to lower my price $10,000, and my buddy who wholesaled this for us, who sold it to the buyer, had to lower his price by $10,000 as well. So we ended up coming out with $15,000. He ended up coming out with $5,000, but we both saved our earnest money. So instead of losing $15K, we made $15K. I made $15K. He made $5K. We got our EMD back. So all is looking good on that one. And the biggest thing that I really wanted to share after telling this story is a couple things. One, if you're asking a certain earnest money amount from the buyer, stick to that. Like, you have to stick to it. We went from $10,000 to the buyer to $7,500 to the buyer. We thought it was fine because we had less earnest money than the buyer, but you need to always have whatever it is that you're asking, it's standard. Like, this is just what you need to do in order to get into the deal. So stay firm on that. And then the second biggest thing that we broke is that we had more earnest money in than the buyer did, because the buyer only had $7,500 throughout the entire transaction, when me and another wholesale partner had $25,000 in total. So we were completely over leveraged. And so the buyer, he could cancel, he'd lose $7,500. If it canceled, I would have lost 15. My buddy would have lost 10. So the biggest lesson here is whenever you're going to put earnest money down, always, always, always make sure that your buyer has the same amount, if not more, than you do in any file. So with us going and getting that extension, we should have gotten the earnest money from him. We shouldn't have negotiated on that and been so lenient on it. We should have made sure that he had $25,000 in escrow. That way we could at least get our money back. And that way we wouldn't have had all the stress of trying to close this deal. So those were my biggest two takeaways from closing this deal. And actually, let me give a third takeaway from this deal, is having great partners. I could not have closed that deal if my dispo partner, the person that wholesaled it for us and found the buyer, if he was unresponsive and not on top of it, we would have lost our money. If our title rep was not on top of this transaction, we would have lost our money. So have great partners in this industry, whether it's another wholesaler that you're doing transactions with or a title company. Have a great title officer. Our title officer absolutely crushed it. She's a great negotiator. She got people to move, and she was able to push this deal across the finish line. On top of the person that helped sell this deal, he helped push this across the finish line. So the third takeaway is by having a great team around you, not just the team, your internal team that's in your company, but make sure that you're doing deals with people that want to push to get deals done, because it would not not have been possible, and I definitely would have lost $15,000 if I was working with someone that did not respond, whether it was a title officer or another wholesaler. So take it from this to work with great people, to make sure not to over leverage on your earnest money and that buyers have more than you do, and to make sure that you stick to your negotiations on specifically earnest money. And so those are my biggest takeaways throughout this transaction. And don't get caught in a deal just like that. And if you do, try and push it through to the finish line just the way I did. I hope this video helps you out. Like and subscribe for more.